Most info product sellers focus solely on selling their product, whereas they need to be focusing on 3 distinct sales. And if you don't focus on these 3 distinct sales, you're not going to be able to effectively convert your prospects into paying customers. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over what these 3 distinct sales are and how you can go about addressing every single one of them and how to properly market towards them. All right, so the 3 sales. Made this little whiteboard to help just like illustrate and explain and show the flow of how all 3 of these sales work and how they all come together. Like I said, this is specifically for info product sellers, but this really applies to any type of business, because if you're selling a product, service, you really need all 3 of these sales, but it's just gonna like change a little bit. It's going to be a little bit packaged differently. I'm sure you're able to figure out if you're not an info product seller. But yeah, so the first thing, you need to sell the business model or the opportunity. So whatever it is that you're offering coaching or information on, you need to make sure first that your prospect is fully aware and educated on what it is exactly that your business model entails. So if it's drop shipping, for example, they need to understand that drop shipping, what you're pretty much doing is you're buying products from wholesalers and you're pretty much just slapping a label on it, and your job is just to market it and to drive a bunch of traffic to it. With trading is pretty self-explanatory. You're just teaching individuals how to make good buying decisions when it comes to either the stock market or crypto and how to be able to read graphs. Real estate, maybe you're going to be teaching individuals how to find houses that are easy to flip, how to get tons of real estate agents on your side. I don't know. I don't really know much about real estate, but yeah. Anyway. So you need to answer these questions. First, how does it work? So for the dropshipping example, how does dropshipping work? Okay, you get in contact with wholesalers, you create a website, you create an e-commerce brand, and you market it. What is needed? So what skills, experience, capital, what is exactly needed to get into this business model? So for dropshipping, you might need some capital. You probably want some marketing experience, and you want to be able to have like somewhat of just like maybe like some form of creativity, because if you're going to be marketing this and creating designs or labels, you're going to want to be able to do that for dropshipping specifically. And then who is this for? So what type of people does this business model attract? So this is a really important one that lots of people neglect, because real estate is going to attract a whole lot different types of audience than a dropshipper or a trader. And then so it's really important to narrow down exactly like who it is that you're speaking to, so that you're able to speak directly to them in their language and really be able to resonate with them. And then so there's some business models that are completely side hustles. And so because it's a side hustle, most of the individuals who are interested in that business model type, they're already going to have a 9-to-5. So you don't want to be talking about how this business model is going to make them hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they might just be looking for a side income and not really have time to fully invest into the business model. So you need to narrow that down too. And then the why. Why is this such a great opportunity? Because when it comes to the internet, lots of people get information paralysis. There's so many different business models, so much different information to consume and digest. You need to help just narrow down their focus as to why this is the big opportunity, and that why they need to just forget about everything else and like just narrow their focus on this one thing. So going back to the dropshipping thing, just talk about how it's never been easier to make a Shopify store. With social media, TikTok, it's way easier to market without paid ads. Whatever it may be, you need to make sure that your marketing angles are answering all these questions so that the individual is completely sold on the business model and the opportunity. But the thing is that it's going to differ based upon the individual audience or the individual prospect and where they fall within the audience. So you have cold, medium, and warm audience types. So if an individual is completely cold to your business model, it means that the prospect has never heard of your business model before. So your primary goal is education. And a good example of this is SMMA and Iman Gaji. So nobody had really heard of social media marketing agencies until Iman Gaji started making tons of content revolving around it, and just like why it's the best business model to get into and how it's super scalable, super profitable, and super easy to get into. So he really helped introduce this idea. At least I think so. I can't really think of anyone else who was making SMMA content prior to him, or at least that just like brought as much attention to it as he did. But then aside from that is medium audience. So they kind of have an idea of what your business model entails, but they don't fully understand it. So they've heard of it, just like I said, don't fully understand how it works. So a good example is online consulting and Sam Ovens. So Sam Ovens really honed in on just like the idea of honestly creating info products and also just online consultants and how to create just a whole consulting business around specific niches within business. So Sam Ovens really did well with that. And then this is for a warm audience. So the prospect is fully aware of your business model and how it works. You just need to educate them on how your strategy differentiates. And then so the reason for this being is just because, going back to the drop shipping example, like the market is very well educated on what drop shipping is and how it works. And so whenever a market becomes that saturated, there's this thing called like market sophistication, where there's different levels for sophistication. And once more and more individuals and competitors enter into a specific market, you need to sophisticate your offer to differentiate it. And somebody who did this really well was Brooke Hadink. And so he introduced the idea of high ticket drop shipping. Everybody was talking about drop shipping, and just like whether it's like fidget spinners or I don't know, just like toothbrushes or something like that. But he introduced the idea of high ticket drop shipping, which was like drop shipping saunas, drop shipping like just these massive products that were really expensive. And then so that way you were able to boost your revenue up a lot quicker with less sales. And then so based upon where your audience falls, or the specific prospect falls within the temperature of the understanding of your business model, is how you're going to want to communicate to them. All right, so that's the first sale. So once you sell them on the business model and what it is that you can offer or knowledge on, then you're going to want to sell them on yourself. So the worst thing you want to the worst thing you could do is appear as a scammer, a con man, or be like a snake oil salesman. So we're going to draw a big red X on all of these, because you don't want that to happen, because you want your prospects and your audience to look at you as an authority figure and trust you and be like, wow, this guy is killing it with his business model. I want to learn from him. And they won't do that if they think that you're just going to scam them out of their money, or that you don't actually know what you're talking about. So the way to make sure that you build trust, credibility, and establish yourself as an authority figure is through, number one, is testimonials. So the more testimonials, the better, just because lots of people want to see that you've helped other individuals and that you are able to repeatedly do this. Because why would you ever want to learn from somebody who has never taught anybody, or has bad testimonials even, so you want to make sure your testimonials are on point. And then you want to show the results from both yourself and your clients. So the reason for this being is because lots of people are very skeptical on course sellers who don't actually practice what they preach. Because there's a saying, it's like those who can do and those who can't teach. And then so you want to make sure that your prospects and anybody that's coming across your offer has full confidence in your ability to do what it is that you're selling. So if it's drop shipping, show results of the revenue you've built. If it's real estate, show the revenue from the houses that you've sold. If it's trading, show your portfolio. And then also show your clients' results, because you might be able to do it for yourself, but that doesn't mean you can teach other people how to do it. And so showcasing that you're able to do so just builds more trust, more credibility. And the last thing is competency. And then so you want to just show that you are fully understanding of how this business model works from the start to finish. And the reason for this being is because if this prospect is brand new to the business model or has no idea how the systems work, they want to make sure that they can always come to you for questions or advice, because that's what that's what they're paying for. And then so that's why it's so important to showcase competency within your business. Okay, and then going back to it. So going back to the temperatures and the warmth of your audience. So if these prospects are completely cold, then they've never heard of you before and you're a total stranger in their eyes. So what you need to do is build trust from scratch and overcome any skepticism towards you that they may have. So more likely than not, these individuals are not going to purchase as soon as they come across your offer, unless you have a really, really, really solid video sales letter, webinar, or all your funnel setup is completely dialed in. But more often than not, they'll come across your offer, give it some time, come across it again, and then just go from here to here to here. But then so then the middle of this is prospects have seen you before, but they're not totally sold on you. So maybe they've come across your Instagram profile, your Twitter, there's like seen some of your emails or your video sales letter, whatever it may be. They just need to hear your backstory, how you got started, and just be fully sold on why you are an authority figure. And you do that through just constant education, nurturing. We'll talk about that later. All right, and the last one is these are the red hot prospects. These prospects have been following you for a while. They know you, your story, and your business. All they need is just a little push to buy. So that's just done through marketing channels, through email, content, and webinars, VSLs, etc. Okay, so that's the second sale. All right, so the last sale is the most important sale, which is selling them on themselves. And so you've already told them about the business model, the opportunity. They fully understand how it works. And you've also sold them on yourself. So they look at you as the authority figure, somebody who is able to replicate successful results, and somebody who can do it again and again, and somebody that they want to learn from. And then so now you need to sell them the prospect on themselves. You need to show, okay, this business model works. I'm the one that can teach it, and I can help you become successful with this business model and become successful. And I have money, but success could mean different things for different info products. Like, for example, if it's a basketball info product, then they're gonna be more successful with basketball. But yeah, so you do this by researching and finding their pain points, desires, and limiting beliefs. And you utilize social media. So go through content, find authority figures in the space that you work in. So going back to it, if it's basketball, look at the top basketball trainers. What are the questions people are asking them? What type of content are they addressing? What type of limiting beliefs are they destroying? And what desires are they attaining to during their content? You also want to leverage previous client interviews. So interview some of your previous clients if you have any, or any of your customers, and just see exactly what made them buy your product. What were they struggling with the most prior to working with you, and what limiting beliefs did you help eliminate for them? That'll give you more than enough information. And the last thing is just market analysis. Is just looking at, okay, what are other people in my market selling similar to me? What are they fixing? What problems are they addressing? How can I go about structuring my offer to be similar to that or to be better than that? Okay, and then our good friend, the thermostat, same thing. But this time though, it doesn't really matter what the prospect, where they fall within cold, medium, or hot, because all of this needs to tailor the message directly to the individual. So yes, it does depend, or it does matter if they're a cold, medium, or warm prospect, but regardless, you need to make sure that your message feels like it's directly tailored to them. It needs to feel like you're speaking directly to them, and that like, what, let's say it was an email that you're writing. It needs to feel as though that email was written specifically for that individual. And then your product needs to have this appeal and have this frame as being the best solution possible to whatever it is that they're trying to solve, or whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. So it needs to look like they're saving grace and just as this great thing. And you should only do that if your product is actually high quality, not if you're creating some BS info product that doesn't actually help anybody. But yeah, so you use ethics when it comes to that. But yeah, so now that you understand those three sales, which is selling on the business model, selling on yourself, and selling them on themselves, then you really just utilize a bunch of different sources and assets. And then so you want to just like build a holistic funnel that addresses the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel, which is all of it was like our friendly thermostat. It's this would be for colder traffic, medium traffic, and warmer traffic. And so how you do that is social media. You really want to attract the top of funnel people. So that's how you're going to get people who have never heard about you before to understand what it is, like those three sales, how they apply to it. Your landing page as well. If you're driving paid ads, then they'll go to the landing page. But then how you get them to convert is going to be through a high quality video sales letter, consistent education and nurturing via email, sales calls, that's going to be for closing them, and webinars going to be for educating them and closing them. But yeah, so I don't want to spend too long on this video going into how to utilize each one of these. Maybe that's something for a different video. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything. And as long as you address all three of these sales, you will be able to scale your info product pretty well, because as long as everything is dialed in and you don't have any cracks within your sales funnel that's causing people to fall off, then you'll be good to go. And this is exactly what I do for my clients with my info product marketing agency, and how we're able to help them scale their revenue. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, I'm starting an email newsletter. I'm gonna put the link in the bio. Subscribe to my email newsletter completely for free. I'm gonna be sharing more sauce, more in depth, and it's gonna be just like really good information about marketing, business, life in general. And yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day and enjoy.